Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Michelle, owner of Michelle Marie Studio, and today I'm going to be sharing this video with you that walks you through the logo design process from start to finish, showing an example of a client, which you can see here that I just posted on my Instagram. So I'll walk you through how we get started with a client and how we bring the project to light. So the first thing that I have my clients do after they sign a contract and pay a deposit with me, I send them a questionnaire. So I can show you guys what this questionnaire looks like. But basically, I'm asking them a lot of questions about their business and their target audience because we're trying to create a brand that appeals to the target audience that they want to attract. So I'm asking them questions such as, why did you start your business? What's the favorite part about running your business? If someone asks you what you do, what do you say? Because I like to hear these answers from the perspective of them to kind of pull like the passionate pieces out of what they're saying in order to incorporate some of those phrases potentially into their branding. And then also just wanting to know, like, when you really get down to it, like, what value are you providing with your clients so that I can make sure that I'm designing a brand that's attracting those type of people. So then I ask some more questions like, what are your core values or your mission statement? How do you define success in your business? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? List 5 words that represent your brand. Using the words that they put here is usually the guidance that I use to create a mood board for them. So with this brand specifically, she was looking for something that's trustworthy, which typically you think of blues when you think of trustworthy. Nourishing, which is typically like greens and naturey, hopeful, passionate, playful, sustainable. So overall, the vibe, what I get from reading from those words is like she wants a colorful yet modern type of palette that's going to appeal to both kids and adults. So this business called Feeding Solutions, she is a feeding therapist who's going to be working with children who have feeding disorders or feeding aversions. And so she's going to be appealing to parents, but also wanting the brand to be welcoming to children as well, because she is going to be working one-on-one with both the kids and the parents. Obviously, the parents would be doing the decision making of who they're going to be working with, but you want a welcoming type of vibe when you are working with kids. And then I love asking this question: if your business was a place, where would it be? So she answered the beach or the coast, which you'll see in the mood board. I made sure to include some ocean vibes in there. And then I just go on to ask some more questions. You can kind of like skim through these if you're watching this video, but I just want to make sure that I have everything crystal clear that I'm looking for so that I know what to do when I get started on the mood board process. So I'll show you what the mood board then looks like. So over here, basically it's just a collection of images and colors to establish the color palette. So a lot of clients are always curious, like, what is the point of a mood board? What am I going to do with this mood board? This is really just to establish that both you, the client, and me are on the same page. And when you look at the mood board, you're basically just thinking, yes, this is the exact vibe that I'm looking for. So to create the mood board itself, I'm just gathering images from stock image sites, or maybe I'm looking on Behance or other design inspiration sites to gather inspiration from other logos. So this was kind of an inspiration that we used mainly for the color palette and a little bit for the typography as well. I thought that this looked really cute together, so I added this in there. And these are all a collection of images that I found from a stock image website. And of course, like I said, a little bit of a beachy theme in there, obviously showcasing some kids because the brand is kid focused. And then I'm using these images to pull out colors to create the color palette. So I'm literally just clicking on one of these boxes using the eyedropper tool and going in here and choosing some of these colors to pull these out. So you'll see, obviously I'm getting the tans from here. I'm getting some of the blues from here and from here. So that's kind of what I do to pull out a color palette. And then I just put everything together and kind of describe what the color palette means to me when I look at these colors. So playful, happy, passionate. Like I said earlier, we're including some blues and some greens here for nature. Some pinks, are very family friendly as well. And then just describing some more words. We want the logo to look modern and professional. We want the logo to have clean, legible fonts, and we want the logo to be family friendly. And then looking at color theory, I type out this little paragraph for them. So blue representing calmness and serenity, green representing growth and new beginnings, and pink representing love and kindness, which is misspelled. Okay, so after the mood board, then I am going to get working on the logo concepts. So this mood board was totally approved before I moved on to the next step. So I move on to logo concepts here. So what I initially did, which you can kind of see over here, I started by drawing these items on Procreate. And I moved them over to Illustrator so that I could edit them and make the lines more clean and crisp, and use them here in the logo. So what I do for logo presentations is I show them the logo in black. I show them the logo in color. And then I show them the submark and alternate versions of a logo. This specific board that you're looking at right now was after doing 2 or 3 different rounds of revision. So this looks a little bit different than what a normal presentation would look like because I was showing her different iterations here. You'll see of like moving the text around to different places. So these 3 right here were like after she had already seen the secondary logo and wanted to see different ways of moving the secondary logo around. So that's what you're looking at there. This submark had been decided that it was good, and so had this primary logo as well. So we were just playing around with the secondary logo over here. But I will move those colors back in here so that I can easily change the colors of things, so that I can show her logos and colors. And then I also always provide some sort of mock-ups. Since this is a business that is not a physical type of business, like people aren't coming to her building, it's all going to be a virtual type of business, and her therapy sessions are going to be virtual as well. These mock-ups are not going to be product focus. So usually I would include mockups that maybe have business cards or signage or napkins or stickers or something like that, but she's not going to be handing out physical products to people that she's working with. So the mockup that I included here was just kind of, maybe a section that she would put in a PDF guide, or a section that she could put on her website, or maybe like in a signature or something like that. So it's really just to see all the colors and the fonts together, along with the logos as well, so you can get a better picture of overall what things look like. Because if I was to just send her this page right here with a primary logo and maybe this page with a secondary logo, she'd look at that and say, oh wow, that's really cute, but she'd probably have hesitations because she doesn't really see the full picture and what the potential could be for seeing the full logo like in action. So that's why I like to include mockups. And then this last mockup over here is just like a website that I created super quickly so that she could see that, hey, we could pull out these drawings from the little submark and put them in here on your website. And each one of these could be, focused on the nutrition, the support, and the therapy. And then of course you can see all the colors in action together. So then this was approved, and then I moved on to creating a business card for her. So this is a business card design. Business card designs are, I like to keep them always pretty simple. So these are pretty easy to do. I like to just use a version of the primary logo and maybe the submark logo or the secondary, whatever like works best in that space, and then putting, the client's information on there. So this was a very easy step. I did show her a few different color variations of this before we landed on this being the final color variation. And then after that, I exported all the logos for her. So this is what her artboard looks like. This is a pretty simple brand. So all we have here is a primary, a secondary, a submark, and then this little, what did I even call this? Let me, so I can keep saying, or so I can quit saying this drawing. That's what we'll call it. And then I pulled out this drawing for her so she could use it as a standalone image anywhere. And then I pulled these little drawings out for her as well, so she could use these as standalone images on her website if she wanted to. So this is everything that she is receiving from me. And then she also purchased one of my website templates. And so she After she had all of the logos, she was then able to work within one of the website templates. She did hire me to do the template for her, so I'll show you what that looks like next. So in Show It, she purchased one of the Show It templates, and then I went in here and I updated all of her colors and her fonts for her. So basically I just went into the site and I went into design settings. I updated her color palette here. I updated her font suite here by uploading them over here. And then I just went in and did a bunch of changing and did a bunch of spacing. She gave me photos to work with because she had a photo shoot. So I uploaded all of these photos into here, and her logos and her fonts are in here. You can see those as well. So when the site is finished, it's not finished yet. Obviously, you can see a lot of filler text here, but when we get the text in there, all she can do is just plop it in. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you know how easy Show It is. She can literally drag and drop and change anything that she wants to make it hers. But yeah, so we have a 4-page website here ready to go for when she is ready with her text. And this is kind of what it looks like as a live version. So if you wanted to check this out at all. And so, yeah, after this was all done, everything was handed off to the client, and then the project was good to go. I sent her a client feedback survey, which is how I always get all of my testimonials. And then I personally asked people to review me on Google as well so that I get testimonials on there too. And then to oh, I forgot the brand standards. This is a huge part of the project that I totally forgot to talk about. So this is the logo and brand identity guide. So along with handing her the logos off in all the different formats, the EPS format, JPEG, PNG, etc., I'm also giving her this brand standards document, which is 16 pages. So this is going to walk through her brand and how to use it moving forward without me. So I'm talking through brand strategy here in the first couple of pages, just really reiterating things that she has already filled out for me in the questionnaire, but putting it in this concise format really helps the client realize what their brand ideals and values are. So we're talking through their values, their target audience, their distinguishing characteristics, and then the creative characteristics as well, and who their competitors are. This competitor section here is a little bit light, but typically we would have more information here about the competitors. Importing the mood board again and just, making it more aesthetically pleasing by breaking up some of the sections by putting in her logo and color and whatnot. Then talking through the identity rationale. So who the brand is appealing to. It's appealing to parents dealing with familial and environmental stress who are seeking for a holistic solution for their kids. The brand design reflects that playfulness while keeping a level of maturity to appeal to parents. The brand design also represents love, kindness, new beginnings, growth with the color palette, typography choices. A little filler here, and then behind the actual logo design Excel. So we've got the leaves, the flowers, the fork and knife, and the circle. So I kind of talk about why I chose those elements that I did. Circles often have a meaning of connection and unity. Typography is professional yet youthful. It's easy to read for all audiences. Super important, by the way. And then I talk through the different logos that they're receiving. So the primary, the secondary, the submark, the artwork. I put these little boxes around to kind of designate like the spacing that you would want around these logos at all time. Like don't put any text within this box, like super close to the logo. And then I'm going through the file formats for them. So what the different file formats mean that they're getting an AI, an EPS, JPEG, JPEG print, JPEG digital, and then a PNG as well, talking about how PNGs are transparent. This is what you are going to be wanting to use at all time. Clients do not know this information at all. So including something like this is really, really crucial, or else you will get a ton of questions after the project is over and they see all of their logos. I guarantee it. And then best practices and usage. Just talking about how you want to use your colored logo over light backgrounds and you want to use your white logo over dark backgrounds. And you typically only want to use your black version of the logo if it's required in some sort of professional printing means. And then another filler here. And then the color palette. So I'm giving them the hex code, the CMYK, and the RGB, and then just basically telling them for web, you're going to be using the hex values, for digital, using the RGB, and then for printing, you're going to be wanting to use the CMYK. And then the typography. So I'm going through what fonts they're using. So you should use this font for the large heading, this font for a small heading, this font for the body text. And then telling them how to convert the fonts to a WOFF file for in case they're using Showit or any other web platform. And then digital presence, like you should use the artwork for your favicon. You might want to use the submark for your social profile image if you're not using a photo of yourself. And then just an idea for a social banner image. And that's pretty much it. So that's all that they get in that brand document. And then they're good to go. They typically don't have a lot of questions. A lot of people are pretty much like blown away at how much information is in this so that they feel confident in moving forward with their brand. So after all that is done, then I make a post on Instagram, which is the fun part for me. So I put everything in here into Instagram. I'll show it to you in the trim view. And so this is how I kind of feature the brand. I just move over like a lot of the different elements that you already saw, showcasing the website over here and then kind of walking through the brand. And then that is how we got here. So this is full circle in, I don't know how quick this video was, but it feels like it was only a few minutes. So yeah, this is what I do for all of my clients. This was a design in a day client. So we had all of this stuff done, the brand and the logos at least in one day, and then everything else was kind of finished up within the following days afterwards. So everything was pretty much ready to launch. The only thing that we're waiting for right now is for the client to input the copy. But yeah, this is my logo design process. I know I ran through that super quick. So if you want me to make a video on anything a little bit more specific, like how I find inspiration or how I made individual submarks or how I use Procreate to create icons and whatnot, just let me know in the comments and I'm happy to include that in a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to hear about our new videos coming up. We like to talk about Showit, brand design, Dubsado, Flowdesk, all the fun business things.